Look closely the next time a heavy brass cart rolls across a high-end lobby. That deep compression highlights the central tension of hotel flooring. You need the surface to look pristine, but it has to survive constant, punishing weight. This flowchart illustrates the trade-off every property manager faces. On one side, you have visual impact, the immediate aesthetic that defines your brand. On the side, lifecycle durability, resisting footsteps, spills, and cleaning. Off-the-shelf broadloom carpets usually force a compromise, checking one box while failing the other. But a custom hotel rug strategy bridges that gap by engineering the surface for the exact space it occupies. Instead of laying the exact same material everywhere in the property, you design the construction, material blend, and pile height to match the specific physical behaviors in that zone. It requires more time and a higher upfront budget to plan. But in exchange, you gain total control over how your flooring performs and degrades over its entire life cycle. A luxury hotel is a collection of distinct microclimates operating under one roof, rather than a single uniform environment. The quiet, controlled layout of a honeymoon suite experiences slow, barefoot movement. Go down to the main lobby corridor, and you have relentless 24-hour traffic with rolling luggage and heavy service carts. This is where we have to evaluate the total cost of ownership. The initial purchase price is only a fraction of what a rug actually costs your property over 5 years. If you put a delicate suite rug in a high-traffic corridor, the fibers crush prematurely. Maintenance teams spend twice as long extracting dirt, and you replace the asset years before you budgeted for it. Getting a real return on your investment requires evaluating the environmental stressors of each zone, like the daily footfall, the constant soil risk, and the echoing acoustics, and specifying the exact material built to handle them. Let's start by looking at the areas where first impressions dictate the guest experience: flagship lobbies and presidential suites. For these high-impact spaces, hand-knotted construction is the standard. Because each knot is tied individually by an artisan, you achieve exceptionally intricate design clarity and a highly dense premium finish. The primary trade-off is logistical. Tying thousands of knots by hand requires the highest upfront cost and the longest production lead times of any flooring construction. This comparison matrix details how we build out these zones. Looking at the luxury suites column, we specify a cut pile finish. The tops of the yarn loops are sliced to create straight vertical strands, delivering a plush feel. However, those straight strands lack structural support. They easily show footprints and temporary crushing. To elevate the aesthetic further in these highly controlled, low-traffic areas, we often specify a wool-silk blend. The silk adds a reflective sheen to the pattern, while the pure wool provides a durable base. Because statement zones prioritize pure aesthetic impact, your operations team simply has to accept and plan for more delicate, labor-intensive vacuuming and spot cleaning cycles to maintain that look. Contrast that with the utility zones. Down a long hotel corridor or inside a bustling banquet hall, the operational demands change entirely. Here, you need a loop pile finish. Because the yarn loops remain uncut, the structure naturally acts like a spring, bouncing back instantly from heavy footfall and rolling luggage wheels. Looking back at our matrix, the corridor column prioritizes this loop pile, trading plushness for sheer utility. The compromise is tactile and visual. Uncut loops have a harsher feel underfoot and cannot physically render the same sharp, high-resolution design details as a cut pile. For materials in these relentless environments, pure wool is the dominant choice. It contains natural oils that resist liquid absorption, making it significantly easier to clean constant spills and tracked-in soil. Pure wool also serves a critical secondary function in long hallways: acoustic noise reduction. A dense wool runner absorbs the echo of voices and the clatter of carts, keeping the adjacent guest rooms quiet. In these high-traffic utility zones, custom rugs function as architectural tools for sound dampening and long-term operational efficiency. Moving away from standard broadloom does introduce friction into your project management timeline. You have to build in a rigorous upfront workflow, map custom dimensions to blueprints, scale the pattern to fit, test color lab dips, and produce physical sampling for review. Then comes phased delivery planning. Large hotel projects are completed floor by floor, meaning custom rug production must be perfectly staggered to match the site's ongoing construction schedule. To achieve that perfect spatial fit, you have to trade away last-minute flexibility. It requires rigorous early commitment and demanding vendor coordination months in advance of installation. To manage these variables effectively, your procurement team needs a framework to balance these trade-offs based on traffic and budget. This chart maps flooring budgets. Vertical axis is traffic volume, horizontal is budget. Bottom right, hand-knotted wool and silk blends for low-traffic flagship spaces. Center, hand-tufted wool for medium-traffic lounges. Top left, loop pile runners for high-traffic corridors, prioritizing resilience and easy maintenance. A cohesive, surviving hotel aesthetic is only achieved by strictly adhering to this precise zone-by-zone procurement approach. A hotel's true return on investment reveals itself years after installation, evidenced by how the materials stands up to relentless daily cycles. A custom rug's actual value is proven on day 500. It is judged by how well those specific fibers resist crushing, dampen the noise of service carts, and respond to relentless daily vacuuming. Plan your lead times rigorously, demand physical samples, and prioritize the physical reality of foot traffic as much as the aesthetic of the mood board.